morning, East Castle Place. How's everybody doing this morning? Alright, hope everybody's got their favorite cup of coffee or drink in their hand as you join me in the first sip on this edition of Coffee with Tyler. Alright, well, it's a beautiful morning out there this morning as I'm filming this, and I can't believe that it is now September. So we're coming up on Labor Day, which I guess is the official or unofficial end of summer. However you want to look at it, maybe looking to get into the fall spirit for those of you that like the pumpkin spice lattes and the pumpkin breads and all the great things that come with fall. I just can't believe it. I can't believe summer's wow, it's gone quickly, even through what we're going through still in the pandemic. So, yeah, it's just, it's quite incredible. But nonetheless, glad to be here this morning with you. And let's jump into it. And the first one is the COVID update, as normal. So, you all should have received on Monday afternoon a notice that we did have a employee test asymptomatic positive. So again, that employee has 0 symptoms of COVID-19. The individual was tested unrelated to COVID symptoms, but rather for something else related to a procedure or something of that nature. So again, this is going to happen. I think you've seen that the cases are still in the hundreds around Milwaukee, but we need to continue to take the necessary precautions as this employee did, because when they were here they used the proper PPE. Again, that's the face masks. Time and time again I'm seeing the news that, again, I think Dr. Bricks from the CDC was in Madison actually talking about you know, how masks are really the best defense, and how as long as we're wearing masks, we should be able to continue, you know, what I'll call normal or the new normal. And so even with this employee who again is asymptomatic, they're resting at home, they're self-isolating at home per our protocols, but really there's no symptoms associated with her or him or her. And so again, we're taking the necessary precautions. We've reached out to those that may have been at a greater risk for exposure. But again, I tell my employees, I've told you on this show, that really the COVID-19 environment that East Castle Place has created is in a lot of respects much safer than what the grocery stores or the Walmarts or Targets have in place, because as much as those are requiring masks, you have different walks of life and different individuals that are walking through those the areas, and because COVID is so widely spread and the exposure rate is so great, we have to continue to protect ourselves. And so again, we'll take all those necessary precautions. We are monitoring employees every day that they walk through the doors with their temperature as well as their symptoms. And then again, we're requiring these masks, and I require them of you. And so again, I know that this is a bit of a, what I'll call a surprise. Maybe it's something that, you know, we haven't had. I mean, the last time we had an employee test positive asymptomatically was back in July, mid-July, so it's been almost over 6 weeks now. And again, we'll go through the proper testing. We have already started that, and I'll keep you all updated in my weekly memo that happens on Thursday as to those results. But again, I feel confident in what steps we're taking for the mitigation of COVID. And I know that there's residents out there that are just still very uncomfortable and still very cautious, and I want to continue to urge you to be extra cautious and take those precautions. But again, at this time, because of where the employee works, we feel good about continuing on with our current protocols, with the outdoor courtyard visits, with keeping the dining room open, and continuing in those small socially distant groups that we've been doing. So again, I know that there's going to be questions. I know that some family members have reached out to me because again, that memo went out to them as well. And again, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I want to continue that transparency. It's been over 6 months, and you've trusted East Castle Place and the processes because of that communication, because of the transparent communication we had from the get-go. That's not stopping. And I want to urge and continue to reassure you that your safety and security, as well as our staff safety and security, is of the utmost importance and priority. But at this time, there's also indicators in things that we've done to move forward. And so again, we're not necessarily adding and opening different things as far as interior visits and things of that nature. We're not there yet. We're still technically in our phase 2, which is again the dining room, small group activities, groups of 20 or less. You know, we're looking at starting a few things, but again, those aren't just because Tyler thinks that's what's best. I'm working with the county officials. I'm working with the CDC, not personally, obviously, but taking guidance and utilizing the resources that we have. So again, if you have questions or concerns, I urge you to email me. I urge you to call me and talk through that with me. And same thing with your family members. That's what we're here for. So again, that's the individual that did test asymptomatic positive for COVID-19 was outside of East Castle Place. And again, we're taking the proper steps in contact tracing our staff as well as those residents that may have been exposed at a greater rate. Again, it's something that we're continuing to work through, even though we're jumping into fall this summer, you know, and everything that's happening. You know, it's still upon us, and so we still need to take those precautious and mitigating risks, especially wearing these properly. So again, over your nose, over your mouth is the best way. That's the COVID-19 update that I have for you. Again, all those precautions and steps that have been in place are going to continue. And again, look for my memo on Thursday that will really put it in black and white. But in the interim, by all means, if you have questions or concerns, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. So, you know, I hope everybody feels okay about this. Of course, we never like to say or think that we have a COVID case, but again, COVID, we're not immune to it, and so we need to continue taking the standard precautions and the protocols that have been successful, that continue to prove successful for East Castle Place. In that regard, in COVID-19, we'll end it there. End it with a sip, actually. A couple other things that I have to share with you. We're going to, you know, obviously we've started getting back to what I'll call normal, and I say that tongue-in-cheek. I know that we're not normal by any means in how we're going about our daily lives. Everybody's wearing masks, small groups, socially distanced at the dinner table. But we are seeing that normal piece come back to a degree, which means staff have different responsibilities and are tasked with different things to get back to that new normal. I put in my memo last Thursday about transportation. I'm asking all of our residents to put in notices at least 48 hours in advance, if not 72. Obviously, if you put in a request Friday night and it's for a Monday morning appointment, we may not be able to accommodate that. So again, your doctor's appointments that are covered need to be at least 48 hours in advance. And so again, we're working through transportation. We're looking at bringing on another part-time driver. As I mentioned, Ed is not with us anymore. He took on I guess he was part-time and there's full-time opportunities available for him. But we still have Tyrone and Ray, and we're still available to you. But we also will be utilizing Lyft. And the reason why I'm saying Lyft is because Lyft has proper protocols in place with their drivers. And you know, from a seniors living standpoint, Lyft is still the preferred vendor. So in the event that you do need transportation, it may be with Lyft. In the event that it's more immediate, and again, that may be at your cost. But again, we want to work with you. We know that we're still transitioning during this time, and so I don't want that to hinder you getting to your doctor's appointments and things of that nature. But again, at least 48 hours in advance for transportation requests. Also, something else that we're going to be doing is the happy hours that we've all kind of gotten used to and look forward to. Again, as the activity staff and community life staff are working through more programming that's for the greater community, aren't as available to provide that what I'll call one-to-one interaction, because again, serving drinks door to door is a pretty big task for 2 or 3 individuals to take on, and it takes, you know, some time. And so again, just because the bandwidth of the staff and different responsibilities that they have coming back to them, we're going to be starting the happy hours basically once a week for each area, or once a month for each area rather. So let me explain. So this week, all of you should have enjoyed the happy hour. It's a celebration of the Labor Day that's coming up. But starting next week, and you'll see this in your activity packets, each Wednesday is what I'm going to say. One building will get the happy hours. For instance, next Wednesday, we'll start our rotation of just Bradford Terrace and Water Tower independent living residents. Just Wednesday. That's the one day that we'll do happy hour for that area. Then the next week, the historic building will get the happy hour, and the week following will be contemporary. And then we'll have a rotation going forward for the upcoming months. So again, I know that may be something that you're like, well, Tyler, that's something that I really look forward to on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever day that may be each week. And you know, now it's happening once a month. And again, that's because we're trying to get back to some of the new normal. The dining room, different activities, channel 955, and how we're going to utilize that. So again, it's something that from an activity standpoint, from a staff standpoint, they brought to me. Something that I think does make sense to get back to some of that new normal. So again, we'll start that next week after Labor Day. Look for your activity packets. We'll start that on Wednesday. And it'll just be Bradford Terrace and Water Tower independent living this next week, so the first week of September. And then the next week will be historic, and the following week will be contemporary. And so we'll do that on Wednesdays as a nice little happy hour for everybody. And we'll have a signature drink of the month moving forward as opposed to the week. There will be other opportunities, I want to rest assured, for the entire community to have happy hours and things of that nature. So don't be alarmed that you're thinking, wow, all the activities are just going to stop and now I have to figure something else out. That's not it at all. We're just transitioning. We're pivoting a little bit to help the staff as well as help the community find that new normal. The courtyard visits, for instance, are upon us and going pretty well from all things considered. And so we want to continue to support you physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and so the activity packets will still continue, and the different groups. I know a couple of you reached out about the play reading group. It's a group of about 10. I think we can get that resumed. So again, all those small groups. Again, I mentioned last week that I sat down with the resident council. Shifting back into that new normal, so to speak. And I know that may be a concern for some of you that you know are still very concerned. And again, I'm not brushing that to the side. I don't want you to think that that's not important to me. But again, I want to allow for choice for those that you know, from a mental, emotional, social aspect, feel that that's vital. So again, many of you reached out and are so supportive of the decisions that are made and the trust that you give me, and I don't take that lightly, and I appreciate the encouragement. And unfortunately, there is no black and white answer for COVID-19 and the decisions that are made. I'm utilizing resources with LCS, with our neighbors here at the Catholic Home in St. John's, and just Wisconsin Leading Age, which is for Wisconsin at large, in what different communities are doing. And so again, I want to be respectful of everybody's opinion, but unfortunately I know that I'm not going to be able to get 100% yes from over 200 residents, nor 200 employees. And so at the end of the day, I gather input from you as residents, as well as from my colleagues, as well as my superiors. And the superiors being the Milwaukee County Health Department, as well as the CDC, and then of course LCS. So again, we'll walk through some of that in more what I'll call black and white in the memo format. And so again, if there's questions or concerns about that, please do let me know, as we are still here for you. Next, coming up on a Labor Day weekend, you know, it's Monday is Labor Day, so you will see a number of what I'll call administrative staff taking the holiday, but we'll still be here to support you, as we are a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week operation. We have our manager on duty, of course, that you'll be seeing, and then again, a number of staff members on over the weekend. So with that, that's really the update that I have. It's a pretty short and sweet coffee with Tyler. Oh, I know what I forgot to mention. You'll see me taking on a little bit more of a community life director role at this point, as Laura Wengler's taking some extended time out of the office. Again, Laura's still with us and doing all right. She just needs some, is just a little bit, will be joining us hopefully in the next week or two. But in the meantime, Scott, Cooper, Willie, Hope, Hannah, Gary, I know I'm missing Tyrone, Ray, Paulicia, Lisette. We're all still here for you, but again, I'm checking Laura's voicemails, and you're probably hearing from me, and I'm meeting with the team. But again, Scott will be off, you know, towards the end of the week, but the rest of the staff are still available to us, and we'll work directly with you. So if you don't see Laura around, again, she'll be rejoining us. I do know that, but just a little time out of the office. Nothing to be concerned with. But again, that's one update that I did want to share with you. And again, if there's any concerns with activities, questions about activities, I will be checking Laura's voicemail, but feel free to reach out to me directly, as I'll be supporting the great team that she has, that will continue to work with us. Speaking of the CLS department and the fitness center, you will see some Marquette interns. Market interns have gone through all the protocols that our normal staff do from an employee standpoint to make sure that they're safe for work, but that's a partnership that Willie has found and will oversee, and it'll be nice to have some additional support in that fitness center. So hopefully you've all been able to meet them. I personally have not yet. I look forward to meeting them. But again, know that they've been vetted, know that they've been going through all the protocols, and know that they have to follow all the employee protocols. So again, from a COVID-19 standpoint, no different for any employee that's walking through the door. They get their temperature checked, any symptoms, they're held out, so on and so forth. So again, just reintroducing some of that new normal. What else do I have? The budget presentation occurred last week. Hopefully you're all able to see that. You all should have received your letters in the mailbox. So if you have questions about that, obviously I'm available to you, and let me know. And hopefully you all can see the presentation either on channel 955, or the presentation is available in the library, or I'm happy to send that to you, or Maureen can as well. So again, that's I think what I have for the Coffee with Tyler. Again, enjoy the wonderful weather. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny day. We had some much needed rain yesterday. I'm taping this on Tuesday, but again, going into the weekend, it looks like another beautiful weekend, and hopefully everybody's able to enjoy that. So with that, I'll sign off with a sip. Take care, everybody. Stay well. Stay East Castle Place strong.